Hey guys, it's Louise. I haven't done a live video in quite some time. Actually, I haven't done a video in quite some time. I've been focusing on other things and the Source Speaks posts that come through, and doing a lot of shamanic healing actually, which I love, absolutely love. Really feels like I'm coming home when I do the shamanic work. As you can probably hear and see, I've come out to a wooded area near my home. I've taken my shoes and socks off and I am earthing and grounding because I feel that is absolutely essential at this time. We are going through such amazing and chaotic and scary and enlightening times, and I feel it's absolutely crucial that we really tune into ourselves and look after ourselves in every way that we can, and in any way that shows up for you. For me today, now, it's meant coming out into nature, planting my butt against a tree and planting my feet on the ground and soaking it all up, this beautiful, beautiful energy. And that's because I was really triggered today, which I found really interesting. I've stayed pretty high vibrational throughout the whole of this situation recently. Truly in my heart, believing, knowing that this is a great awakening. I have no idea how it's going to play out. I have no idea what's coming. But I truly believe this is our golden opportunity that we have been gifted to really stop and reset our belief systems, what we believe in, stop and reset our lifestyles, enable us to review and reflect fully and reevaluate where we're putting our energy, how we're spending our energy, what we're putting our time to, and making, giving us the opportunity to make choices, to make choices that feel more in alignment with our truth, with the pull of our heart, than the way it's been, what we've been doing up until this point. And I know it's been forced upon us, but like many of my life lessons, they were forced upon me. I didn't choose to be paralyzed. I didn't choose to fall down the stairs. The universe nudged me quite beautifully. But that was an amazing golden opportunity once I got out of the kind of the negative beliefs and thoughts about what was actually happening to me. And I think this is the same thing. But I don't think that we should ignore our fears when they come up. I don't think that we should ignore our triggers. I believe we should, this is an opportunity for us, because that's what we've been doing our whole lives. We've been distracting ourselves, we've been putting them to one side, we've been sticking our fingers in our ears and going la 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 la, I'm not listening. And now we're being called, we're being asked to really step up and look at what is deep within us that wants to come to the surface and show itself to us. Now, many of you will probably be thinking, well, I have been doing this work, and that's fabulous, absolutely fabulous. But, this is a global reset. This is giving everybody the opportunity, whether they've been consciously aware of, remembering who they truly are, or the awakening process or ascension or not. It doesn't really matter. Everybody's being given the opportunity to really sit with themselves and soak up and acknowledge what is actually going on for them. What is their truth? Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they angry? Is what they are experiencing in their reality really rubbing up against them, or are they loving it? It's really giving us this opportunity. And one of the biggest triggers for me today has been seeing the news. about the fact that, basically we're being censored. Freedom of speech has gone out the window. We thought we lived in a free world. Well, it's all illusion. Because unless you're basically talking and speaking about the party line on this current situation with the virus, you're not allowed to share your thoughts, and your thoughts cannot be aired, and others cannot use their own discernment based on a broad spectrum of truths, because we all, well, maybe not everybody, there are different timelines. People are seeing the world through different lenses. There are different perspectives, and I honour that. I honour everybody's perspective on their current situation, because that is their truth for them right now. I mean, don't ask me a whole lot of this QAnon and all that kind of stuff, the cabal stuff, because to be honest, I've never really been that interested. And it's never been part of my experience to kind of go down those perceptions. However, I respect other people's right to live that timeline, to have those beliefs. Just as we have a political system where we agree to disagree. We have, I might not vote for the person who got in power, but I respect the fact that a number of people did. And so that is that ability to have free speech and free thought. And when you start censoring what people are allowed to hear and what people are allowed to think, then that's when that really triggers me. And it's triggered me because I have lived and grown up in a world where my father was in the Air Force. Everything was censored. You got what they wanted you to hear. I worked in the NHS. I was a senior manager in the NHS, and you knew that you weren't allowed to say certain things, and that you were only allowed to share what the hierarchy said was the party line. And actually, at one point, I was actually told off because I didn't stick to what was the party line, and I told what was my truth that I saw in the situation. So it really does. That's one of my things. Control, disempowerment. That's literally been my life path, and that is what I'm here to assist others to release. Basically, my whole work is around people standing in their sovereignty. Well, what is sovereignty? Sovereignty is being the master of your own being. Sovereignty is feeling your emotions, acknowledging all that you are, standing in your full power, not giving your power away to anything or anyone. It doesn't matter where the information comes from. It's about tuning into yourself and discerning, using your discernment, finding your truth. Does it resonate with me? Does it not? Do I agree with it? Do I not? That's mastery, standing in your power. And when we start taking those steps in alignment with just finding out who we are and what is our truth, that's the path of sovereignty. And then, once you do start releasing yourself from the bindings of what has been dictated to you as the truth by, and no judgment, the world is as it is, it was as it was when we were growing up, by your parents who knew no better. They weren't doing anything to harm anybody. They were just reciting what they'd been told, what society tells us is the truth, what cultures, what religions. It's about finding our own, what resonates deep within us. And when we start doing that, we start recalling those aspects of ourselves that we've given away. And we've given our power away to all kinds of things, codependent relationships. We've given our power away to just being loved, feeling loved. And so you have an understanding of what love is based on a very third dimensional structure and construct. But actually, when you start allowing yourself to be your truth, regardless of what impact that will have on said relationship or job or your financial situation or whatever, when you allow yourself to be fully you, even if it means losing everything, that is when you're standing in your sovereignty. That is when you've reclaimed all the power, because nothing has the power over you. to stop you from being who you are, from saying what you want to say, for feeling what you want to feel. And that includes, that's not just the external stuff, that includes the internal stuff as well. And fear is a massive one that blocks us, because when we're triggered by something, when there's a program within us that, you know, it's like touching a nerve, that something external usually triggers inside yourself so you can have that awareness of it, then it feels really uncomfortable. And that's where I was this morning, bawling my eyes out, just feeling like, you know, I'm going to end it. I don't want to live in a world where I'm not free. I don't want to live and exist in a world of censorship and manipulation. But I have. That's the ironic thing. I've been living in that world. It's just that now the veil of illusion is coming off and we're seeing it for what it is. So I find myself sat by a tree today because I've allowed myself to go there. I've allowed myself to fully feel it. I've allowed myself to acknowledge my fears, acknowledge the thoughts and the belief programs and everything. And I'm now allowing myself to let them go and come out the other side. And so, you know, it is a process. So don't run away from anything that you're being triggered by. If you're being triggered by stuff at the minute, I was going to say run towards it, but, you know, metaphorically speaking, don't run away from it. Face it, look at it, shine that light of love on it, because that's the only way that you can actually really get down to what your truth is. You know, if you run from your own fears, you're giving power to your fear, and you'll never get to the bottom of what is the nugget, what's the truth beneath it. Emily said that she had a similar moment in the garden yesterday and wept. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But, you know, isn't it beautiful that you allowed yourself to go into the garden and have a weep, rather than kind of stoically that, you know, British upper lip and, oh, you know, just going to park that one and pretend everything's okay. No, everything's not okay. Everything's not okay. We're being asked to allow that which we know not to be okay to be expressed within us, through us, and then externally and outwardly. So I've come on basically just to kind of share where I'm at, but also, you know, none of us, we're not alone. There's one of the things about this kind of social distancing, physical distancing thing that makes you feel really isolated, makes you feel kind of like alone in your own head, and sometimes, and I know this because I've experienced panic and anxiety in the past, being in your head is a scary place. It really can be. So when you find yourself in that place, reach out, you know, reach out to people through whatever media you can. Connect with like-minded people. Know that we're all going through this together, and we may all have our own perceptions of what it is that's happening, but as long as we are able to express them in some way and not just keep them bottled up, then you're able to go through that process of releasing. And if you find yourself really caught in your head, get out into nature and plant yourself against a tree, put your feet on the earth and drop into your heart center. You know, come out of your head and intentionally drop your awareness down into your heart center. It's what assists me so many times. It's where I can then get the flavor of what I actually truly believe, you know, and rather than a cognitive, I think I know this kind of a way, it's that really deep knowing. This is my truth. This is what I believe. So when you find yourself swirling around in the chaos of your mind, drop into your heart center. Find that still place. Find that still point. And, you know, do whatever it takes to get you there, whether it's using essential oils or getting into nature, putting on particular music, dancing, laughing, whatever, but just drop into your heart center and find that still point. where you're actually connected with that divine aspect of who you are, that individuated spark. You know, we get so caught up in, I am Louise, I am this physical body, I am the roles that I've played, I am a mother, I am a daughter, I am, you know, a partner. Go deeper, 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 deeper. I am actually love and light. I am spirit incarnate, having a physical experience. I am an eternal soul. This is a blip on the landscape of my eternal experiences. Connect with that aspect. It gives you a much, much wider perspective on your current situation and the global current situation and what you actually know to be truth. You know, when you are limited within your external landscape as to what is and isn't spoken about and discussed and what is the truth, the only place you have to go is inside. So go within, go deep within, go past the veils of all the roles and perceptions of who you are and all the beliefs and programs related to all of that. Go deep, 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 deep within yourself and connect with that still point that is your truth, your eternal soul self. And gain your answers from there, because you'll gain those answers through a sense of knowing. Depending on your abilities and how, you know, open you are to receiving information in different ways, you may get visions. You may hear, you know, the voice of reason within you. You may just get a sense of knowing. You may just get a feeling. If you're clairvoyant, clairsentient, claircognizant, and clairaudient, you know, you'll get it in a different way. But you have to connect within yourself to get that knowledge, to get that wisdom from yourself. And it doesn't mean to say you go poo-poo to everything that you hear, but what it does mean is you don't just automatically believe what you hear outside. You go into yourself and you check in with yourself. How does this resonate with me? Does it feel light? Do I feel, yeah? Or does it feel like, oh, hang on a minute, there's something not quite right with this? That is discernment. That is checking in with yourself, and it can be a quick 2-minute job to just check in with yourself on whether or not something resonates. Yeah, it feels good. Yeah, I feel in agreement with this, in alignment with this, or no. Now, one of the problems that we have with discernment is our, you know, if you do understand yourself as more than just your physical form, you'll know that you're an electromagnetic being, and we have an electromagnetic field that extends beyond our physical body. Now, hey Dominic, if you don't understand yourself as more than just your physical form, then you are like an open sponge, soaking everything up. And so your field can come really clogged with loads of stuff that isn't yours. It's not your information. And so it can be really confusing, and it takes practice and it takes boundaries to actually, you know, just say, okay, my sovereign space. You could even just, you know, outstretch your arms. You know, outstretch your arms and go, okay, this is my sovereign space, this is my field, and nothing that is not in my greatest and highest good can get through. That is my sovereign intent. I am claiming sovereignty over my electromagnetic space, my field around me. And that way you can then clear out and get to know what is my stuff, and actually what am I just picking up from the collective consciousness. You know, what am I picking up from the person I've just walked next to in the supermarket or in the street, or what am I picking up from the energy that I'm receiving through the news channel, or, you know, the television programs that I watch, or the music that I listen to. Get a clear field. Clear your field out. I mean, we talk about my higher selves always talking about get back to basics and really ground yourself, cleanse your electromagnetic field, and you know, it's about raising your vibration. But boundaries is one of the main things. you know, stating that I am a sovereign being of my electromagnetic field, my energetic body, and only that which I allow in is allowed to enter, and only that which is in my greatest and highest good is allowed to enter. And clear out your field so that you clear out what I get shown is like it's like an old TV dial. I don't know if you remember, some of you might be too young. You used to have to tune your TV in, and you used to have to go through a really fuzzy, ziggy, zaggy stage before you got a clear channel. Well, if you imagine your field is picking up all these different frequencies from all sorts of different things, and they're in your field if you're this open sponge, you have to clear out, you have to tune out of all those frequencies to tune into yourself. Now, once you've done that, once you've been practicing that, cleansing your field, and there's loads of different ways you can do that, and it's on my YouTube channel. I've put up a free video on how to cleanse, how to ground, how to set boundaries. Once you cleanse your field out, then you've got a clearer channel to drop into your heart center. It's so much easier then to drop into your heart center and actually discern your truth. It's quite difficult to discern your truth when your whole field is taken up with 1,001 other people's energies, especially at the minute when everybody collectively is emitting so much fear. So I really suggest strongly that you start cleansing your field, and you know, your whole field is your emotions, your thoughts, your physical body, and your outer spiritual layers as well. And there are many, many ways that you can cleanse, many, many ways that you can do that. Grounding is essential, and it's another good way to clearing your field, because you can, you know, literally ground your feet on the earth and ask the earth to assist you to cleanse your field of all lower vibration energies. Setting your boundary is an absolute essential must at this time, because if you're sat there in front of the television, you're just soaking it all up. You're soaking all that fear up, and you have no idea whether that's your stuff or anyone else's, and it's quite overwhelming, especially for people who are empathic, which a lot of people who are, you know, basically the ascension process, the awakening process is to actually develop your empathy, which is the ability to read another's field, to feel another's field. I mean, there's so much that I could talk about, and actually now that I've just started channeling, it's just all coming through, tons and tons of it. So I think what I might do is put out a webinar, an opportunity for us to get on and discuss, and also I'll go through some simple tips on clearing your field and things. But I just wanted to come and share, you know, I mean, I've been doing spiritual work for most of my life, but over the last 5 years, really, you know, seriously committed to it, committed to raising my vibration, committed to really getting in touch with my truth and living my truth. And I'm here to say, you know, I've been triggered today. My battery's getting low, so I'm going to have to close this conversation. So it happens to all of us. So there's no judgment. There's no judgment in any of it. But it's what we do with it. It's what we do when we get triggered. It's how we respond. It's what we allow to manifest in our reality based on the energy that we're receiving, and what we do with that energy. That's what matters. And we're all individually, every single one of us, the master of that. Nobody can take that away from you. You give that away. Your ability to make your own decisions, your own choices, and what your actions are. That's what you have power over. So take back that power. This is the time we're all being asked to actually step fully into being the divine creators that we truly are. You know, we create our reality in each and every moment, with every thought, with every emotion, or repression of emotion that we have. So this is a shout out to allow yourself to feel what is coming up, do some energy management. If you don't understand yourself as more than your physical body and the roles that you're playing, then I'm going to do a webinar to talk about how to step into your sovereignty. I will send that out on my email list, and I will also post it on Facebook as well with the details of how to access and everything. But get out, get grounded, clear your field, set your boundaries. It's okay to say no. And yeah, much love to you all during this crazy time. Thanks for watching. For all of those of you who have popped on live, hi Lynn, hi Jenny, hi Nicole. You needed my voice today. Yeah, I have been very quiet recently, sorry. Yeah, been going through my own stuff and my own process. Hi little Stevie. But yeah, I'll sort a webinar out so that you know, my battery's not going to die and stuff like that. But yeah, there's loads I can share about this. But the main thing is stay high vibrational, whatever that means to you, however that gets to look. There are no rules, you know, whatever lifts your spirit, do it. And just let everything else go. Alright, so much love to you all guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.